Hey traders, Nick here looking at a whole bunch of tickers. In my chat room I have a whole bunch of requests, and instead of me typing all of them, I'm going to do one quick video and answer all of them. It's going to be faster that way, probably better. Okay, we'll go down the list. Blink. If you're not in the chat room, then get in the chat room. Let's see here. There should be a link in the description if I decide to make that video public. Okay, so Blink, we're looking at the daily. The daily's indecisive. It's in the consolidation range. Hard to make an actionable, maybe a trigger above 53.30. Then I would chase it up from here. 56 will be another problem tick on the daily. So if I'm active, as far as support, into 43.80, 43.75, 42.75, there's support. If it falls and reverse to quote the mean on the daily, it can fall to 40 and wouldn't change anything. If I'm actively trading it, I'd have to zoom in a little bit. Now you can see the trigger that we just set. Now you can clearly see this is a, I would try to catch the falling knife, so to speak, or try to swing trade it up from here. So I would put an alert, swing trade up to 52-ish, question mark. So I'll decide whether I want to. In that case, if I do buy it here, however way I trade swings, I would stop myself below these two candles. Okay, that's one out of the way. Microsoft, buy. I don't know. Markets are at all-time high. Okay, that's not for me. I would maybe down at 234, I would get long. If I'm not long, I should admit to myself I missed it. Not a good time to start longs. VRXT or TX? VRXT. I don't know what that is. This. No, I don't know. They messed up. VRXT. What did I do? VRXT. Okay, so I don't know what that is. Maybe it's VRTX. It's one of those stickers that I will never trade again, ever again. It should fall into support here. The quotes on it in options are terrible. If it loses this one, it's going to collapse. Technically, it's in danger, this zone. It should not lose it. So swing trade up from here, okay, that's what I tried, and it went green a little bit, and then now it's flipped red. I'm pissed off. I want to take it off my screen. So not my favorite trader. If I want to own shares, I'll sell put and forget about it. That's it. That's the only way I would trade that one again. AA, so I'm going to assume, okay, rallying up 4%, I don't know on what. It's got resistance from here. So going into 21, it's going to face sellers. Yes, there's a gap open here. It might attract buyers, but I think I want to see what happens here. The next, what is that, dollar? See what happens in there. It shouldn't lose this one. If it does, by shouldn't, like it better not, because if it does, it's going to come back to 16, 15. Sorry about the noise. God. Okay, so what is, okay, next, pins. I'm not a big fan of Alcoa, by the way, so I don't know what they're, but also on Alcoa, be careful with the dollar. If the dollar rips, I haven't checked on it today, Alcoa might be under pressure. This looks like a nice opportunity to get into open air. Wow, how did I miss that? Okay, so as soon as it broke away from this prior high, this is a daily candle, so the day is not over. We'll see where it closes. It might invite buyers, and the upside is 90-ish. I say 90-ish because it's open air. Is this the all-time high? And if it is, then the shorts have nothing against which they can hit. Sometimes they say, I'm going to short this candle, I'm going to short that candle. We can't do that. Like if it was rising here, they'll say, I'm going to short this candle. They'd win, but then the second attempt broke through. So this is the second. Is this the first attempt at this? We'll see. So they're probably short against this, and then at some point they're going to stop loss, and then the bulls will go. So if I'm long, I stay long. If I'm looking to get long, I should go into lower time frames. All right, so on a 2-hour candle, maybe I'd get long, and hoping that when it falls back to 76, it's going to be okay. And it could fall back to 76. So I would probably wait for that and catch it. But now we're splitting hairs. TIGR, what is that? Some sort of a payment processing? Okay, too high for me. Why would I want to take that one, not square? I'd prefer square if that's the case. But the other one is too high for me. I would wait for a dip. Peloton. So I like the concept I don't like how expensive it is, but boy, wow, check that out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so talk about a line in the sand. Is it that obvious? I mean, lines that are this obvious make me nervous. It is a perfect line on 2 hours. So if it breaks it, 156, 160 targets. But man, that is too clean. Higher lows is good. So what's going on is the range is tightening. Look how tight it. Oh, earnings, perfect. Oh, great. So wait, the day report already? So anyway, they couldn't have. If it's tonight, it's a coin flip, my friends. It's just too perfect. And we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You could hand me their P&L today. I couldn't guess what they're going to do. Not because I'm an idiot, because you couldn't guess either. And if you think you can, you're mistaken. I guarantee you that fact. Nobody guarantees anything on Wall Street. This is a guarantee. Reaction to earnings the next day, completely binary. I'll give you proof. Last night, earnings from Amazon were great. They killed it. They expectations was $7 a share, and that's usually the rub with Amazon. People erroneously compare the earnings per share. Who cares the earnings? Talk about their sales. Anyway, they delivered twice as many earnings as they thought they would, and then the stock, was it green? It was red last time I checked. Anyway, so we don't know. Anyway, here, under normal conditions, I would wait for this to chase it. We're not going to have that opportunity because of the earnings. Most likely, we're going to wake up 156, 160, or 140. If it falls to 140, I would catch the falling knife for a trade. If it loses to 140, I would short it for a trade. What am I talking about? Okay, so let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. The problem is the earnings. Makes it a coin flip. I reiterate that. Higher lows under, if there were no earnings, this is pretty bullish. You got the bulls in control with higher lows. They're going to come to a point where they're going to have to burst or give back some. If they burst, they do this. If they give back some, they'll fall a little bit and regain composure and make a cup and handle to do this eventually. If they fall a lot of it, they bounce. And if they come back here, now inverse cup and handle potential and lose that, and they do this. So that's why I'm saying if it falls into 140, I'll catch a falling knife with tight stop. If they lose this one after the 140, I'm out. If they open down here, then I'll catch the falling knife. This here is the point of control. Are we on a daily? No, 2 hour chart. So this area is, whoa. Okay, so I like 128. I'm going to put an alert. I'm not saying it's going there. I'm saying if it does go there, long. Confidently. Of course, unless they say something to change the game. This is where it's traded the most. This whole zone is busy. So this whole zone should be concrete. Soft concrete. Pillow. Anyway, that is Peloton. UAVS. Most of my requests these days come from ARK. I should just publish a list of ARK. What did ARK do today? If we're so consumed by ARK, why don't we just buy ARK? ARK G, ARK F, whatever they have. 12 brings buyers. It's a microcap. It's under 1 billion in capital. And above 12, it catches a bid to 13 maybe 13 and a half. It's going to face selling at 14 and above. Into 10, it should find support. Into 9.5, it should find support. If that's lost, it may come down to 8. So choose your entry points and exit points. BLI. I remember the ticker. Somebody mentioned it the other day. 4 billion in market cap. Okay, so BLI. The sellers are in control on the 4 hour chart, on the daily chart. It's finding footing at a pivotal zone, so that makes total sense. What you don't want to do is you do not want to lose 69 and change, because then we're talking at a huge head and shoulders. You know, mathematically, it's a disaster. It just basically tells you it's going to fall another notch into the clutches of down here. Going into 82, it's going to suffer some selling. Into 84 for sure. So if I'm long from here, I'd exit here and then rebuy higher if they choose to go there. I don't know anything about the company, so you do your homework. On the 120 we started, let's see, yeah, on the short term, basically the sellers, every pop they're selling it, and now 80 is a pivot. Look, I can see it, ledge right here. So when they come back to it, they can come back here and do a cup and handle to come back to 84, which is, look, point of control. That orange line, I don't draw it, it's automatically drawn. It's telling me this is where they are going to be busy. So if it rallies into here, it's going to hit busy. It's going to go boom, get stuck. If I wanted to short a level, 85. Look at that candle right there. All right, we are looking at BLI, NLOK. What is NLOK? Norfolk. What is this? Norton LifeLock. Norton. The only time I got hacked was on top of Norton security. They used the Norton files somehow to get on board my machine. Wow, inverse head and shoulders. They just burst above a neckline around 21.5. I'd stay long it. Did it fill the gap? It perfectly filled the gap there, so be careful about the fade. It's okay coming down to 21.3. It's okay coming down to 20.8, but it's a shame. Higher lows, they burst up. They should find footing, establish footing here on the retest to finish the job. The job is a lot higher, like 23.5 with 22.5 big selling point. So if I'm long, I'm comfortable long here, watching how far it dips. Cake, restaurant, right? I don't understand. How are they still making money? It's just a trading pattern right now. So 46 is going to have sellers, 48 more sellers. If I didn't exit here, was this a heavily shorted stock? I bet you it made the list GME mess. So what do I mean by that? As soon as GME situation happened, yep, that's what it is. So this one must be heavily shorted, and a whole bunch of people said, hey, it's going to skyrocket like GME. Avoid, just in case it gets caught in the mess again, meaning don't short it. OMI, I don't know what that is. Owen Miners, okay, I've heard of it. It's falling, I don't know what they mine. Distribution, medical distributions, never mind. So here's the thing, ISRG, I love it, right? But how much hurt did it get past, dulled out because of the delays in surgeries? So last year they canceled all elective surgeries, and some cancer surgeries were considered elective. I know that because my wife had a organ transplant, and so we were like, are we going to get bumped out or not? So it was we were around hospitals all the time, and nobody was doing any surgeries. So I don't know what these guys do. That their services get hurt by that, I'm not sure. So it's falling into support. It's falling into a pivot. I wouldn't panic out of it into 26. If it loses that, I'd be shocked if it goes too far, even though the technicals will say it goes too far. So I don't know. Crowd. Okay, this is a good trigger right here. It's pass fail. As soon as you take it out, you can get to 240 and beyond, but you have to take it out first. Lose 200, start raising eyebrows. Lose 194, fills this gap and carries down to 170, 180. I don't know. It has a lot of open spaces, good support levels, but if it's a fast mover, what is it? Package software, which means everything these days. So here, this is a daily. You can see, if it ever falls to 150, I'd definitely load up. I don't know much about it, but technically, I bet you it'll find a lot of support. I'll say long. I know this is way too far, but hey, you never know. 180 is a good pivot. So out here, 180 plus or minus $2-3 is a good pivot. Something going on. The chat room lighting up. 1. So depends on how fast I am. 200 looks like a very very pointy spot. Look at this doji, very big doji. So the edges of it are also important. And look, this edge matches almost this edge and just above the gap. So there's risk, and it'll probably follow the market. If I want to scare you, I'm not a technician, but I believe in the necklines. And when something is drawing the look like a head and shoulders, what do they say? If it squawks like a duck or whatever, it's a duck. So the potential is there. It's not a perfectly drawn head and shoulders, and some technician will have an issue with it, but the risk is there. If markets fall, it'll fall. And somebody just punched in FastFly. Okay, so FastFly, nope, FastFly, FSLY. What is that? Probably the GME effect. So here's the bad thing about that GME. It ruined a lot of perfect setups. We had a lot of charts we were tracking with nice setups, and then this candle comes out of nowhere and ruins it. So arguably, it's in that breakout, and arguably it already filled it. So I don't know how they're going to treat this. So if I'm long, I guess I can stay long. I would buy the dip at 97. I was long. I don't think I am. I just went through my portfolio, and I don't remember reading it. So FastFire, catch a falling knife here. I have another alert here for some reason. If it falls to here, definitely buyer. So this is the point of control, that orange line. I didn't draw that orange line. Here, I can take out all my drawings. And this is the line that is actually the most traded. So this is where bulls, bears, buyers and sellers agree, and they're going to be active again. So if it falls into it, it's going to go boo. And then what happens after that is something else. So you can bounce off of this once, you bounce off of it the second time and you don't hold it, you're going for a ride to the next one, which is 70. But I'm looking up. All right, that's it. Thank you.